I have a weil mclain CGaGold gas boiler. It went out last night. No pilot light. Installed a Honeywell Universal TCQ 348 108230 mv.pilot lights when holding button, but shuts off when red button is released. With power on, you can hear the pump spin on and the chimney vent open like it's calling for heat. But the pilot won't remain on. The transformer switching relay was replaced last year and you can hear it hum but unit won't stay lit.
Hi, I'm Douglas and I am here to help you resolve problems with your heating and cooling equipment. I see you replaced the thermocouple. Is the top third of it completely enveloped in the pilot flame? Did you hold the button down for about a minute before releasing it?
Seems to be. The little V in the pilot is slightly off center of the TC, but that spot welded and been there I guess since the beginning. The top third is in the flame. This was a universal Honeywell TC. Seemed to fit right in. I held the button for a solid minute. Did it several times. But won't hold.
I assume the thermocouple is seated and inserted completely into the pilot burner and also at the gas valve end?
The end next to the pilot is a snap or push-in. So I just pushed until it clicked. The end that goes into the gas valve is threaded and tight. Can it be tight yet the end not contacting the valve?
Oh, anything is possible. Let me ask you this. Do you happen to own a voltmeter by chance?
Yes. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Found it.
Okay. We can test the output from the thermocouple with that. This is how we do that. Unscrew and remove the thermocouple from the gas valve and look at the end of the thermocouple. There is a nub on the end. Set your meter to DC millivolts and hold the red lead on that nub and the other lead to the copper tube part. Light the pilot and hold the button down to keep the flame on. This may take a helper. We want to watch the millivolts that the thermocouple is providing. With a new one we should be in the 30 MV DC range if the flame is properly enveloping the thermocouple after 30 seconds or so. It may show up as negative voltage but that's okay, you can swap the leads to show positive but either way is fine. It's the numbers we worry about.
Damn. I'm by myself right now. I can't hold the lead and light the pilot and hold the button at the same time. Let me try quickly. If not, I will need to push it off till tomorrow when I have help. Give me a few minutes.
When threading into the valve itself, you want to use a backup wrench on the valve because it's aluminum. I use a little alligator clip or a paper clip to hold the one on the copper tube to free up a hand.
Okay. With the pilot lid and red button to press the red lead reads 0.050V. When I use the black lead or common, it reads 0.040V.
Does your meter have a millivolt DC setting?
Yeah. Let me try again. It was on V not MV.
Haha, okay.
Zip.no MV from either lead.
Just to be sure. You were testing it here? Of course the other end was in the flame.
Just the tip. So I should have the black on the copper and the red on the tip? I will have to try again.
Yeah, sorry.
Slowly but surely it got to 30 millivolts about a minute.
Okay, that should be enough to hold the valve open. This really is not impacted by any other part, so even with the power off it should hold. It could be the solenoid in the gas valve is kaput, which I hope is not the case on Christmas Eve. I know this is a pain, but if you put the old thermocouple back in and measure the millivolts the same way and come up with anything over 20, then this tells me the old thermocouple was actually okay and that the valve itself is bad. Before we do, this is a manual light pilot, correct?
Yeah. Plain Jane Honeywell. Has the red button. Black knob goes to off, pilot then on after lighting. The lighting instructions are right on the cover. The TC and pilot tube run together to the center burner tube, both are sticking up in the 12 o'clock position. It's a very basic system. No electronic controls. Just a Honeywell 50-watt transformer / DPST switching relay which I replaced last year.
Well, like I said, we could check the original thermocouple to see how it does in the meter test. But 30 MV is strong and it should have held that pilot solenoid in. It's a pretty simple system but it works, usually. To many, it's a far cry better than this electronic crap we have where any efficiency savings gets tossed. The minute there is a problem. If we condemn that valve, we want to do it before it gets too late to go get one. Many supply houses are closing down early if not already.
They're closed already. Noon. I need to get ready for Christmas. I will check the old TC the same way tomorrow. If it is the gas valve, how difficult is it to replace? The valve body is threaded onto the gas pipe. But the other half, which houses the reset button and pilot knob, seem to be attached via some funny screws. Like 2 or 3 of them. Do you just replace the electronic part or does the entire mechanical valve body need to come off the gas pipe?
The whole valve. There is a union in the gas line leading to the boiler. You have to shut the gas cock off, lost in that ignition, and dismantle the gas line to the valve. Take the pilot tubing and wiring off and unscrew the valve from the boiler manifold. Reverse the process to put the new gas line on. You have to use a little pipe dope on the pipe to ensure no leaks without glopping it on. You don't want the pipe dope plugging up the gas valve or rifaces. I can't think of anything we are missing here, nothing in the schematic sticks out. Of course I am not there, but we did some pretty solid checks.
Okay. I was hoping otherwise, but it is what it is. I will try it tomorrow and see if the old TC works or not. I will have to get the valve on Wednesday. I may contact you then. Is there a way to send a picture to you later?
Absolutely. To post a picture, depending on your browser, there should be a little tree icon in your text box somewhere. That is how you post one.
No tree. But a paperclip in the box. I will try later. Thanks a lot. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too. Stay warm.
I hope the pics came through. They look large and blurry when downloading into the answer box. Maybe they can be resized for better viewing. Pics of the unit, the internal controls, the pilot light / TC position, and the gas valve. I temporarily stuck the old TC into the pilot flame so both TCs were getting hot. The old TC did reach 30 millivolts. So I guess I'm doing a valve change. I lit the pilot and turned off the shut-off valve to remove any remaining gas in the line. So the next step is uncoupling the main line and taking every pipe section off until I get to the valve. One thing that worries me is how much torque to place on the valve when screwing it onto the burner manifold, as the manifold looks thinner walled than black pipe, and I don't want to crack it or the new valve. Also, Terry's no part number on that valve. Is this a general / universal / common part? Looks like I'll be shopping for it tomorrow. Thank God I have a wood stove. Thanks and Merry Christmas.
You won't crack it. A 12 inches pair of channel locks or a pipe wrench is plenty of torque, provided there is some pipe dope on the threads. Gas pressure is very low. When threading into the valve itself, you want to use a backup wrench on the valve because it's aluminum. Other than that, a piece of cake. Your pictures are fine, a little blurry, but that happens in poor lighting. A standard Honeywell VR8300 A3500 standing pilot gas valve will work just fine. The supply houses can substitute that as long as they know it's a standing pilot, 24V gas valve. We didn't discuss if this is natural or LP, but if it's LP it needs to be converted. It's not a bad idea to have someone replace this if you aren't totally comfortable with it.
It's a VR8200A 2116. The black pipe should be no problem and will mark each connection joint for reference. Before disassembly was more concerned with the valve because it aluminum. As soon as you torque a little much it's usually over. I will find a new part 2D hopefully, thanks.
Yeah, it takes a lot to crack them, but it has been done. Just trust the pipe sealant and don't crank on it like lug nuts on a car wheel. The seal is made because the threads are tapered and the pipe dope does the rest. If you can find a VR8200 that's fine. Any from that family will do, again just make sure they know it's standing pilot. Other differences may be the threaded openings. For instance, you may get one that's 3/4 of an inch in and 12 inches out. It should come with a bushing to reduce that incoming thread to match your 1/2 inch inlet. Good luck and let me know how it goes.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.